Now the details, but before we begin this edition, let us first inform you that on Friday in New York, President Paul Kagame met with Barry Segal, the founder of the Segal Family Foundation, Dolly Segal and Martin Segal, the Segal Family Foundation board chair, following the 10th annual meeting for the Segal Family Foundation held in Kigali in July this year. They discussed ongoing investments the foundation has made to impact organizations across the world, 60 of which are Rwandan. Now, President Kagame also received Don Peebles, the founder and chairman as well as CEO of the Peebles Corporation, a leading private real estate investment and development company. Their meeting covered potential areas of investment here in Rwanda. Now, as we just noted in the headlines, the Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board has announced that the country has various types of minerals worth up to $150 billion US. However, it should be noted that the figures are provisional and most likely will increase. We have the details with Prince Manzi.
$150 billion US is the worth of minerals found across Rwanda. This was announced by the Chief Executive Officer of the Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board, Ambassador Amina Karitanyi, in the discussions this board had with the Committee on Economic Development and Finance in the Senate chamber of the Rwandan Parliament. We're still under a research of finding what we have, but the minimum amount of minerals, if given the worth, it is $155 billion US. That is the stock that we have of minerals currently in Rwanda. This means that throughout the research, we will find more. The 2017 research demonstrated 52 regions across the country that have a potential of possessing minerals, and some of them a trial mining was undertaken, as explained by Dr. Ivan Twagirashema, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board. In the 52 regions found, 18 of them were performed in a mining trial that reached to 100 meters. We dug 9 pits in a 6-kilometer long area, and we discovered various minerals, namely coltan, cassiterite, wolfram, and lithium. We also tried quantification, and on the $400,000 US given for research, we concluded with a value of $800 million US. Even though the whole value is not known, all the research conducted, even up to the colonization, when we quantify them, we find more than 112 million tons of various minerals, and we value them in comparison to the value of money currently, and it falls to $154 billion US. This is said before drilling that goes deep down to 200 meters. Nevertheless, this does not mean that Rwanda will mine out all these minerals, as some are in the 5 protected areas of national parks, but again, Ambassador Amina Karitanyi states that Rwanda will monetarily benefit from them in another way. It does not mean that we can mine out all minerals to get the money. There are some places we can do so, but others we cannot. We can only pledge. An example is Nyungwe. It is a protected area, but there is also a lot of gold. We can quantify it and raise money in comparison to what we have in Nyungwe, but without mining them out. The mining sector aims that in 2024 it will be generating for the country $1.5 billion US annually. The executive of the Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board states that this goal will be achieved as last year the sector earned $772 million US, whereas in the first 6 months of 2023, Rwanda exported $609 million US worth of minerals. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Citizens across the country have been requesting for a solution to the problem of rising costs of commodities in markets. Meanwhile, farmers are focusing on increasing their produce, even though they say they are being challenged by untimely provision of seeds and fertilizers. Prince Manzi continues.
In Nyabugogo market, there are various types of commodities, but affording them is hard. The onions are currently on 1,000 francs per kilogram. Some vegetables were on 200, but now it is 500 francs. Rice is expensive as well. I'll give you examples. Peas are on 2,600 francs. Beans are 1,500 francs per kilogram. Matuke is 380 per kilogram. Sweet potatoes are 700, 800 and 1,000 per kilogram. Farmers are considered as the only solution to the lack of produce on markets, leading to the rise of costs. Having various crops on the same farm, using industrial fertilizers, increasing the area of farming are some of the measurements towards providing a sustainable solution. The hope that we have is that we have rain currently. We might have an increasing number of beans and maize. Not having seeds and fertilizers on time is also stated that it might affect their produce. I did not plant a lot, and this leads to farming at a slow pace. I am afraid of farming without fertilizers. Those in charge are slow in providing fertilizers. Farmers say that the farming capital increased. For a farmer to have a produce requires a strong capital, as explained by Joseph Kafaranga, an experienced sweet potatoes farmer in Musanze district, Northern Province. Some of the reasons to the decreasing quantity of sweet potatoes on the market include the capital for farming them. A seed is between 1,000 and 1,500 francs, and you find that you are spending around 5 million on an hectare. This is a challenge mostly to small farmers. In September, the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda demonstrated that in the second quarter of 2023, the GDP at current market prices increased by 6.3%. The agricultural sector contributed 27% to the GDP, but it grew by 0%, elaborating that the last quarter there was no increase of produce compared to the second quarter in 2022. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Now, 100 youth from across the country are asking for assistance to get their money back after they were cheated into giving it to an entity that was posing as a recruitment agency, calling itself Vision Company Limited. The young people from 8 different districts say they paid the company's agents more than 20,000 Rwandan francs each to get jobs as drivers, conductors, petrol station attendants, and factory workers. The transactions being made through an Irembo agent who sent the money to different bank accounts. On Friday, the youth had gathered in Musanze district at a hotel to apparently attend training before they start working, only to find out that no such training had ever been organized and the company's representatives had all turned off their phones. RBA spoke to the Minister of Youth, who told us that the issue is being investigated, but also urged the country's youth to be careful when it comes to such activities because there are many conmen looking to take advantage of people, especially when it comes to what may seem like employment opportunities. Back to the agricultural sector, and Yara, a fertilizer company and a provider of environmental solutions, on Friday introduced on the Rwandan market animal feed that meet international standards. Prince Manzi with more.
It has been 9 years since Yara was established in Rwanda. It is known for its fertilizers. On an international level, Yara produces animal feed and it has currently introduced its product on the Rwandan market. Winston Ondiabo, heading Yara in Rwanda and Tanzania, states that even though there are other market holders, there's a speciality they are bringing.
Quality. Quality, quality. As Yara, we are known for quality, and by quality I mean looking at the feed conversion ratio for our feeds. We believe that it's far much better than all our competitors. All the feed manufacturers, I believe, and they will not only be our competitors, they are our customers, because what we bring on board is also formulation that our competitors can use in formulating the raw materials that they are doing, and in formulation then it means that they'll have quality output. At the end of the day, the finished product that will be in the market is part of the nutrients that we'll be using, which at the end of the day we believe that quality will be part of the supply chain, including our competition.
The Director General of Animal Resources Development at the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Jean-Claude Norimana, demonstrates that this partner is as well going to favor the decrease in cost of animal feed.
akababaro k'aborozi cyangwa se ibibazo bafite nka Minisiteri y'Ubuhinzi n'Ubworozi turi kumwe ntabwo.
The challenges that those in the livestock do have, we know them, and we are working with various partners. Yara is one of these partners. They will provide feed for cows, for chickens, pigs and fishes.
Ibiryo by'inkoko, batanga ibiryo by'ingurube ndetse n'ibiryo by'amafi.
Yara was established in 1905 to solve the emerging famine. Their use of modern technology will favor the increase in quality and quantity of the agricultural produce, as well as curbing the effects the agriculture has to the environment.
Thank you, Prince, for those reports. Now, the Rwanda Food and Drugs Authority is reminding local alcohol manufacturers on the importance of making quality products. The call was made during a meeting between the Rwanda FDA officials and the manufacturers, and it was noted that only 1/3 of alcohol making facilities have sought guidance from the authority on how to meet the required quality standards, and of them, just 30% have been able to meet those requirements. The manufacturers have noted that not only is it a requirement of the law that they meet the required standards, as well as ethical, it also makes financial sense to do so because the increased sales when their products have a seal of approval far outweighs the added costs of meeting the quality standards. Now to the education sector, and more than 40,000 English language and mathematics teachers that were trained as part of the Building Learning Foundation program say that even though the project has come to a close, it has left them with a very positive impact in the way they educate their students. The project had been operational in government schools and those assisted by the government for the past 6 years, training teachers and school administrators as well. Those who were trained have now been asked to pass on the knowledge they acquired so that the impact of the project may continue to spread. Officials at the Rwanda Basic Education Board have noted that the project has had a profound impact, especially on children of the first 3 years of primary school, and that the board will ensure that what has been gained is not lost. The Building Learning Foundation project operated in more than 3,200 schools across the country, helping English language teachers to increase their effectiveness by up to 70%, up from 40%, while math teachers went from just 19 to 40%. And now to social matters. After it was noted that poor communication and inadequate financial means are leading contributors to abuse and domestic violence among married couples, the National Women's Council in the Western Province has announced that more efforts are going to be put in addressing the problem, with the goal that up to 700 of the most affected families will be counseled on the issue during this fiscal year. Research carried out in one of the province's districts, that is Karongi, found that infidelity, drunkenness, and poverty have been making things worse. It had gotten so bad in the area that the Minister of Gender and Family Promotion herself recently visited families there, said to have the most serious problems. The government of Rwanda has continued to work to address the issue, noting that the family unit is the very foundation upon which the country stands. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us for this edition. A reminder that you should act responsibly over the weekend, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.